really comes forward is better. Under skin channels. Under skin channels have a song called I Wish I Was a Muscle. Under the sea. Can Altay used to have a song. Name song. Say the names of everyone in the room. Now, I always wanted the anti-name song. I wanted the song for the names of all the people not in the room. Celine, Andrelli, Christian Mooney, Keystone Curlow, Florian Wust, Kriska Housen, Mika, Bob, Mick Wilson, Nick Lassen. The people on the street we used to walk down from the Buick Londra who said to Elisa, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. In Italy, they had a name. They called things the strategia della tensione. It was this period that they called the anni dei piombi, the years of lead, as if everything was heavy, as if everyone was heavy, as if the air was heavy, as if you could not move in the air, you could not move in a room, you could not move in a city, you could not move in a country, you could not move in a magazine, you could not move on a TV station, you could not move in an art gallery, you could not move. But the strategy della tensione della tensione, strategy of tension. The false flag is another term. Also from Italy somehow, from Mussolini. Mussolini sent his troops over into one place, and then he dressed them up in Albanian uniforms, and then when they were shot, he crossed his own border and then he dressed up his own troops in Albanian uniforms and then he shot them. And then he said the Albanians had invaded. Is that right? I don't know, you don't remember all these things. That's part of it. You don't remember. There's all these things you just can't possibly remember. Facts and dates and who's who. Keeping track of the players, who's who. The false flag. You can't keep track of the false flag. In the years of lead and the strategy of tension. the strategy of tension. The strategy of tension is you do something, someone does something, and then they say someone else did it to discredit them. Like blowing up a train station and blaming it on student communists so that the labor unions can't get a good deal. Like that. It's like things tip through that way. Boom. You like that? Boom. Shakalaka. In the late 90s, someone came to my house with a petition. These kids, they came to my house with a petition. And they said, hey, would you like to have the labeling of genetically modified foods? Would you like to have genetically modified foods labeled? And I didn't know what that was. I didn't know that they did that. And if you didn't know what that was, and if you didn't know that they did that, and I read the papers, so that meant that it wasn't in the papers. So they still can't pass a law in California to label the genetically modified food. And people started calling that structure, they started calling that deep politics, like a continuity, this thing behind the other things. It's not on the surface. At the bottom, where things settle down. And if you go to Wikipedia and you look for deep politics, they will say that the term originated here and should be understood as a derivation of the Turkish deep state. Not on the surface. If we tip the room like a box, and instead of saying that's the top and this is the bottom, like in the strategy della tensione, just tips things like that. We'll just tip the room together, all together at once. So instead of that being the top and this being the bottom, we'll make that the top and that the bottom. And the muscles are down there. The muscles are all down here. These settle down, things from over here, they go all the way down there. So we have Chernobyl. It all goes down there. And John and I were very concerned with names and pictures. And there are certain things you can't depict. And there are certain things you only have code names for. Like the process by which something would slowly, like the mercury that somehow ends up back here. And then they come with these like rakes. They don't dive. We found out today that they don't dive. They bring these rakes and they bring it all up. And it still has the mercury, which put John in the hospital once. It still makes me nervous. And that's at the bottom. That's the depths. We're in the surface. And it comes up to us. And they bring it to us in this process. The Wikipedia names only help so much. You make up your own names. You have your own feelings. The years of lead. Like lead would drop down. And when you see it, like those weights the fishermen use, and it would drop down. And it would go down to the bottom. And we had an idea for how to deal with these things. I had thought a picture might be a picture of the coastline, but we had this idea that there would be a gesture, like an homage to the artist David Hammonds. It would be to crawl, because we were up on the top of this hill, going down to the bottom, going from the old platform space under Stikla, down to the bottom, to the bar, and then deeper into Tarlabashi, where I didn't want. They said not to have Elisa go home alone at night. And the one time she did, all the boys, they greeted her with, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And that was something very deep coming all the way up. It was coming all the way up to the surface. And we had the idea that there would be this crawl. And the question is, what would happen with that? When you're going from one place to another. Things that get to the bottom and they change properties. Oysters have pearls. From one place to another, a transformation happens. And the kids who you would see in Tarlabashi kind of run ahead of you in that area that's not there anymore. When we were there once, they would run ahead to kind of warn other people you were coming. So there was this kind of furtive gesture around a corner. And so if I were to crawl, they would know. It would be very slow, so they would have plenty of warning. And what would that do? The decisions that get made up there, they filter down also into this thing. All the absent names. All the people who couldn't make it. Which is different than the people who said they were going to make it and didn't make it. It's different than the list on Facebook. It's different than trying and not making it. People who don't get represented. The people who won't, they won't attend. They might not even know about attending. Those people. Name song is us. It's an us marking. A different us. A different we. Down there, at the bottom of something. Getting to the bottom of it. You never really get to the bottom of it. Gets to the bottom of you. You never really get to the bottom of it. Gets to the bottom of you. Right. Thank you, that's the end.